SAMMY Miller Motorcycle Museum. This is the main museum complex. We've got some bikes out of the museum today to run through, fire up, let you see them running. This is my NSU Sportmax, which I had many successes with. Won the Northwest 200 3 times in the trot, the Leinster 200 3 times in the trot, most of the Irish road races, so very close to my heart. And of course full streamlining, so you used to be able to write down inside it, rev counter up here, and it was very good in the rain because the rain never got off you, and the fairings were very successful. They were banned in '57 because there was a lot of fatalities. They were very affected by side wind because the wind used to blow on the side and almost blow you off the road. Very exciting, especially in the Northwest 200 when it was very exposed, but great bike, great memories. So, and this is the road edition of the NSU 1957 Max, very futuristic, overhead cam, eccentric drive to the cam. There's a sort of a steam operated principle of drive to the overhead cam. Really very strong, very bulletproof. So leading link forks with a forks lead like this, the same as this one here. So beautiful styling. It was very expensive because it was such a quality bike, and NSU were one of the major manufacturers post-war. Then they decided to go into car manufacture with the RO80, the rotary car with the rotary engine, and total disaster, and it really bankrupted them, that car. So then we move on again to the 1961 Fruin. Bert Fruin was a great designer, great innovator, made many bikes, and so this is one of his creations. 1961, 4-cylinder, 200cc, and he used NSU, quickly, barrels and heads, cranks. John Ring rebuilt this engine. He'll be here shortly. We can have a word with him, but beautiful design. Delorto carburetors, Albion gearbox, which is not a great gearbox. That's an MV Sports rolling chassis. As you see, swinging arm suspension, quite stylish. So we'll be running that up shortly, and I think you'll be very impressed with the noise and its speed, of course. Then we move on to, this is Jim, who is our top man in the restoration department. This is his 1929 Ariel. Quite unique, 4-valve. So very few made, sloper 4-valve. But just in the 29, 30, 31, lots of the manufacturers had got 4-valve. Rudge had a go, Matches had a go, Ariel had a go. And really that's quite advanced because most of the engines today are 4-valve or even 5-valve. So 29 Ariels made this bike, runs a treat. You notice the suspension, and this is Girder fork. We forgot about the Fruin, which is telescopic forks, because I'm coming on to this later. So this is a 500 sloper, 4-speed gearbox. Beautiful bike, totally restored by Jim, and performs. It has won many awards. It was the top bike at the Bristol Motorcycle Show this year, so it works. Lots of the pose bikes, as I call them, don't work, but this one definitely works. Then we move on to FN, Belgium. What's FN stand for? Fédération Nationale. This is 1947. I think it's a 350 side valve, and very special forks. They call them trailing link forks. Why are they called trailing link? Because the pivot is here and they're trailing back all the time. It is a very, very good idea, and we'll show you how it operates. So, interesting, we've got trailing link forks, NSU, leading link forks, Fruin telescopic forks, and the Ariel girder forks, which are the old type girders, tubular jobs. Right, you see these trailing link forks, how they work. A lot of suspension. This is 1947, just after the Second World War. So we'll just run over this brick to see how it works. You see how nice and civilized that was. Jim, just hold it, or put it back. Then, to show you how it shouldn't work. So we're now looking at telescopic forks. You see, not so much movement and not trailing link. So we go on that. You can see how it leapt up on the front. We'll do it again. So when you push, you can see how much it leapt up compared to the trailing link forks. The reason for that is that the wheel has been allowed to come back from the trailing link like that. This here has got to come up that way from the contact with the obstacle. So it's a lot easier if you've got a trailing link that comes away from the object. And the same again with the NSU, that's got leading link forks. You've still got the problem that the wheel is trying to go forward rather than to go back. We're on Jim's 29 sloper and girder forks. You can see how that affects. You see, it's not so nice, not bad, but again, the trailing link fork, much easier right over the top. So we go again. You can see how there's a lot more shattering, push upwards rather than the trailing link. So stick it on the stand again, Jim.
Nice and light then, Sam.
Yeah, nice and light. You can see here we're going across, and again you see you get that terrible shutter effect where the wheel is actually being driven back instead of riding over. But then with a wheelbarrow and a brick that we were using on the NSU, FN, etc. Well, we're talking about attack when you're hitting bumps. So if you hit that like that, you go like that. But if you pull the wheels back the way you were with the FN, you come back. You see? Up in the air, nice and steady. So that's the difference between the fork position. So the front wheel on the FN can come back and ride over. So we're looking at it again. When you hit, the wheel, if you come around this side, you can see better. The swinging arm is going to come back like that when it hits the bump, so the wheel rides over the top of the obstacle rather than hitting it flat on. So I don't know why those forks weren't developed more, because they were successful, because in 48, the European Motocross Championship was won by a Belgian, Mingal, who's a big strong bloke, and he raced FN with those forks, and he managed to win the European Championship. So obviously they were not pretty by any imagination, but effective, you see? Right, we've done enough on suspension. we'll do a bit of riding now. So I think really I'll get my racing gear on. We'll run the NSU Sportmax up, and before it gets too hot.